And one of the world's largest oil companies has just ditched the dollar, opting instead for the euro. Russia's Rosneft has switched its contract currency of choice in lieu of U.S. sanctions.
Yeah, I think essentially what Rosneft just did was they decided that they were no longer going to accept the dollar as the currency of choice, and they're looking to essentially sell oil using euros and rubles in order to get around U.S. sanctions. I don't think it's necessarily very surprising that this step has been taken by this company, specifically because we know that there have been efforts made in the past by other nations and other oil companies to try to move away from the petrodollars as we would know it, right? The U.S. dollar that is backed by oil, which has been that way since 1973, when essentially the U.S. and Saudi Arabia made a deal for all oil to be sold in U.S. dollars. And so we've seen this attempt made in the past, but this is a significant one because Rosneft is really the largest oil company so far to take this step.
Dozens of United Nations member states have submitted resolutions to the UN Disarmament Commission urging North Korea's denuclearization and for the regime to return to the negotiating table. Voice of America reported Saturday that the South Korean government, together with 62 other member states, submitted a resolution that suggests a ban on comprehensive nuclear tests, condemning North Korea's past 6 nuclear tests. The countries also supported the peaceful method of achieving complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization through dialogue. Last year, 66 member states submitted a similar resolution. Some 26 other states, including Canada and Spain, also submitted a resolution calling for collective action that seeks to bring about a world without nuclear weapons. The UN Disarmament Commission will put the resolutions up for a vote next month, and those passed will be sent to the plenary meeting at the UN General Assembly in December.
A victory for Democrats in the House. A judge now ordering the Justice Department to turn over Robert Mueller's secret grand jury documents to House Democrats.
Tonight, the president facing questions about the strength of his strategy in the Ukraine impeachment investigation, defiantly saying he is a team of one.
Here's the thing. I don't have teams. Everyone's talking about teams. I'm the team. I did nothing wrong.
Just after those remarks, the president facing a setback. A federal judge calling the House impeachment proceedings legal and ordering the Justice Department to hand over grand jury materials from Robert Mueller's Russia investigation to the House Judiciary Committee by next week. Previously redacted materials would be included. Democrats have been investigating whether Trump obstructed the long-running probe into Russia's interference into the 2016 election. But the president continues to rail against those charges.
This was the worst hoax in the history of our country.
Now, British police have backed away from initial reports that 39 people found dead in a truck 3 days ago were from China. They're now seeking leads to identify the victims. There are indications some of them may have been from Vietnam. Investigators say Vietnamese communities in Britain and elsewhere are providing information that could help.
Very little is known about the 39 people that were found dead in Essex on Wednesday. On Thursday, the police said the victims were believed to be Chinese nationals, but never confirmed it.
We gave an initial steer on Thursday on nationality. However, this is now a developing picture. As such, I will not be drawn on any further detail until formal identification processes approved by Her Majesty's coroner have taken place.
As Democrats scramble for the 2020 nomination, student debt is one issue they have all promised to tackle.
Make college universally available with free tuition and fees.
We are going to cancel all student debt in this country.
My plan would be to, first of all, make community college free. And make sure that everyone else besides that top percentile gets help with their education.
Betsy DeVos, the education secretary appointed by Donald Trump, disagrees strongly with many of the Democratic proposals, and she is not afraid to say so.
Their proposals are crazy. I mean, it's trillions of dollars. And who do they think is actually going to pay for these? It's going to be 2 of the 3 Americans that aren't going to college paying for the 1 out of 3 that do. Well, let's look at this for what it really is, a federal takeover of higher education.
Iraqi police fired tear gas today to disperse thousands of protesters in Baghdad, where planned anti-government demonstrations have resumed after a 3-week hiatus.
Yes, Manila, the purpose of today's protest was the same as previous ones: high unemployment, government corruption, and a lack of basic services. And as with earlier attempts, protesters once again try to enter the green zone, where the Iraqi parliament and several Western embassies are located, including the U.S. Embassy. Now, the green zone, an area carved out of central Baghdad by U.S.-led forces after the Iraq invasion in 2003, is seen by many Iraqis as a virtual city within a city, where privileged residents enjoy way more security and better public services than anywhere else in Baghdad. Now, Baghdad's green zone has been a barometer for tension and conflict for nearly 2 decades. In fact, this 4 square miles home only to Iraqi governments and their families.
WA police are investigating the suspected murder of 2 young girls in their home in Perth's northern suburbs. The bodies of the 6 and 10-year-olds were found around 6 o'clock last night. Their mother is in custody under police guard in hospital with what appear to be self-inflicted wounds. She was arrested in a beach car park about 12 kilometres away from the crime scene around 8:30 last night.
Have been stuck here at the Nigeria-Benin border for 2 months. Caught by a sudden change in government policy, they're not allowed to go forward and can't go back. Zubairu Mele has been importing and exporting goods for 23 years. He says he's never seen anything like this.
Government should hand over to us goods that we've already paid import duty for. We have more than 500 trucks stuck on the Benin Republic side of the border. Many of the goods are damaged. We'll lose more if this doesn't end soon.
Some businessmen say they have lost hundreds of millions of dollars since the middle of August, when the government ordered the borders to be closed to imports. This is one of the reasons the government says it's shutting the crossings: illegally imported rice. Officials say the flow of contraband into Nigeria is killing its economy and production.
Marinara